I'm going to share with you today a floating meditation. You see it on the left. It says, water caresses my body like a glove, carelessly floating, ears silent to the noises above. Weightlessness releases tensions within as subtle splashes dance on my skin. Face up to the heavens, eyes closed, suspended in a tranquil moment, all worries disposed. I have found that for me, one way that I tend to be able to meditate and shut out some other things is to float in the water. I sometimes do it in the tub, put my ears down and float in the tub even. But my favorite thing to do is to float in the ocean. Now, I have a place that I go here at St. Simon's that's right to the right of where King and Prince is, where there's a sandbar that sticks out there in low tide that I can make sure that I am safe, that I won't be float out into the sea, out in through the channel down into the ocean, you know. I can just get out there and float. So that's me on the right, and Greg took a little short video I'll share right now of me floating, and you can meditate with me as I float. Back in 2008, I felt that there were some things happening in the world that were going to make a difference. And that summer, when I was asked to share the title of my homily for the newsletter, I decided, I'd heard a lot about being sea change. This is the time of sea change. So I sent in the title as a sea change soliloquy. Sea change soliloquy. Now, I didn't know what I was going to share at the time. That was just the name. And I thought, well, perhaps it will come to me if I'm at the sea. And Greg and I took the children. That was back when his children and my grandchildren were children, still children. We brought them down to Jekyll Island, to the ocean. And while the 4 children played with Greg, I floated. Just as I told you, I love to float. So I floated in the sea while they were doing their thing and playing. And some things came to me as I was floating in the sea that later I wrote and shared them as a sea change soliloquy. Well, that was way back in 2008. But here we are in 2020. The children are grown up. But I again feel like there's possibility for sea change. At least I hope so. Sea change, big changes that might make a difference in the world. And so I've decided to share with you folks that sea change soliloquy that I wrote for my homily today. And we'll hear some soft waves as you hear this message, short message. I think we'll hear the waves. There they are. Oh yes, this is good. I'm floating. My whole body, not just my head, but all the way down to my feet. I wonder, is it the salt content of the sea or the fat content in me? In any case, I'm here afloat, my own little boat, breathing serenity. Perhaps I'll have a little sea change myself, a transformation of my spirit here today upon this sea. And what should this sea change be? Perhaps the sea connects to the letter C from me and others, the transformative powers of calmness, caring, consideration, coping, counseling, constructive criticism, and sometimes just cooling it. Yes, sometimes we just need to float, to let go of all the anxieties and concerns, and let the waves take us where they will. Oh, where have the waves taken me? I'm over my head. No problem. I can swim and I'm not too far out. There's a lesson for you, Jane. Go ahead and float, but stay aware of where the waves are taking you and be sure you know how to swim if you're going to get in over your head. Look, there are my loved ones. I need to get nearer to them. I don't want to stop my careful consideration of sea change, but I need to be nearer to them and more secure in order to transform more. And now I stand with my feet firmly planted in the wet ocean floor and feel the power of the current. And I let that power enter me as I breathe in the salt air. My mother says salt water heals. Perhaps that's the sea change that our country needs. We need the healing, transformative power of the salt water for the sores on our souls. Sores caused by excessive consumerism and greed. Cuts and tears caused from using violence as a means to resolve our differences. Sores that have festered because of our neglect and mistreatment of the greater body, our earth. Oh, how we need for the salt water to heal these sores. Jesus said, ye are the salt of the earth, and ye includes me, and ye is we. As Gandhi said, we must be the change we wish to see in the world. Of course, the sea change first must be a me change. I hear the children calling me. Amidst the sound of crashing waves, the children are calling me. Yes, I am called by the children. And my transformation, my sea change reality is that we are all called by our children to save their future before it is too late. Amen. You know, I still feel called by the children, our children in this congregation, my great-grandchildren, other children, those who will be inheriting this world, this country, this earth. Called by them to do all we can to make sure that this is a better place. And I know you will join me in answering that call.